Okay, I'm sure you're tired of factoring and all the different patterns that can be done, and you're really going to hate this one. So we've got one pattern left, and you're not going to enjoy it. We can get something called the sum and difference of cube roots. Okay? Now, don't give up on this. You can totally do it. And this screen, the math language, looks absolutely atrocious, but I'll take you through. You know how we do this. So let me show you how this works. So here's what we got. I notice on the front end this time I have a cube root. X times x times x gets me x to the third. And on the back, now these are not as intuitive. You don't do cube roots as much, but this is 4 times 4 times 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down the cube root of the front one and call it A. And I'm going to write down the cube root of the back and I'm going to call it B. Okay? Now, you could memorize the two patterns that were at the front for the two versions of this, but I don't do that. I have a nice trick that I learned over the years. This is what I'd recommend. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do other than to memorize this. This is the pattern that you always get. Okay? Now, A was the cube root of the front, B was the cube root of the back. Now let's start building this. A was x, so I'm going to say an x. B was 4. Now I'm going to do the next polynomial is a squared. Well, that's x squared. AB is 4 times x. And b squared is 4 squared. You got to finish it. Some people just write 4 squared. It's got to be finished. 4 squared is 16. Now, there's a trick I saw in some textbooks some many years ago, which I thought was really good, and it's the idea of SOAP. What this means is same, opposite, always positive. Okay, what does that mean? Well, your first sign is going to be the same as what you started with. We started with a plus, so I need a plus. Now, the next one is going to be the opposite. So we started with a plus, so the next one's a minus. And the last one is always positive. And we have factored the sum or difference of cubes. Now, the sign on this one doesn't matter. We're going to be able to do versions for plus or minus. Now, the other thing, if I gave you my warm-up activity, the other thing I want you to see, this x to the third plus 64 does not factor down to x plus 4 to the third. It does not. If you tried to multiply out 3 of these, it does not get you back here. It makes a big nasty mess. So people want to just say, cube roots, it must be this. No, that is not true. It's this big AB pattern. Okay, pause the video, try one. My A is x, my B is 3. Now, I don't want to write the AB pattern again each time. I wish I could somehow carry that over. I probably could if I was clever. My A is x, so it goes AB, A squared, AB, let me go, A, B, A squared, A times B, and then B squared, which would be 9. Now, I'm ready for SOAP. Same as what I started with. Opposite, always positive. Okay, we got another one here. My A is going to be y. My B is going to be 3. Or sorry, no it isn't. My B is going to be 2. So cube roots here. So remember, don't forget that pattern. I'll write it one more time. I don't want to write it all the time because I'm lazy. But so my A is y. My B is 2. A squared would be y squared. A times B would be 2y. Okay. Same. I'm going to SOAP now. Same as what you started with. Opposite. Always positive. Okay, now it works the same with the negative. We have a negative this time. I'll jump ahead here. The only thing that's going to be different is the SOAP. No, I better do this. So my A is going to be x, B is going to be 10. That's the cube root. So we'll do it again. A, B, A squared, A times B, B squared. Now here's where SOAP comes in. This is why all you need to memorize is one version of this. You don't have to do it twice. Now, same as what we started with. Opposite, always positive. All right, try one if you want. Now, all I need is my SOAP. I started with a minus, give me a minus. Opposite, always positive. Okay. What is the cube root of 343? I don't know. I'm going to need to get a calculator. Okay, you may have known this, but the cube root of 343 turns out to be 7. I did not know that. Oops. Okay, so same thing. V7, V squared, 7V, 49. SOAP says same, opposite, always positive. All right, the numbers are getting wicked. The order is what they're getting at here. I don't know all these cube roots. I'm going to let them do this for me. But so I would check for a GCF. There's not going to be one. I'm sure that's coming. But we're looking for cube roots in the front and the back. Now the order doesn't matter. It's the wrong way around, but it doesn't change anything. Oh, well, there's something important here. So let me show you this. Okay. So I didn't know that the cube root of that was 8. Now let's go through this. Here's why. Not only did they go out of order, but something else is weird here. So I'm doing my A, B, A squared. Now you got to square it. That'd be 64. Oh shoot, I fell for a trick. A times B. I actually messed up something that people do all the time. Now here's why I'm doing this. The back end is B squared. Well, it's not just a P, it's 5P. So B squared would be 5P times another 5P. That's 25P squared. People will want to like square the variable but leave the 5 alone. You're squaring that entire back end. Now, same, opposite, always positive. Okay, try this one if you want to. The cube roots are the issue, at least for me, but that's 4, and this is 3x. So A, B, A squared, A times B, and all of the back end is going to get squared. That's 9x to the second. Same, opposite, always positive. Notice that I'm squaring the entire back end. Same, opposite, always positive. Okay, now they've got U's and V's in here. This is important too because I just told you what's going to happen on this. If people miss this one, here's why, but I'll show you it and talk you through it. Okay, so you do your A, you do your B. We've seen the extra letter doesn't change anything. You work it the same way. Now here's what someone would miss. You square in the front, it's the whole thing. So 9u squared. And if you multiply these together, you get 15u times v. Do you remember that? Now, if you square the back end, you get 25v squared. Same as you started, opposite, always positive. Okay, definitely try this one. I'd recommend you pause the video for this. Notice what I'm squaring everything. Ugh, I don't know why that happens. 6. Squaring all of the A and all of the B when I need to. Same, opposite, always positive. We'll try one more. What the heck? So 10m getting the hang of it. I'm squaring all of the A term or all the B term if I need to. Same, opposite, always positive. Okay, the only thing that's changing here is I've got a GCF. So I'm taking out the 5 first, and then it's all the same. I'm not going to work through another one there, just all the same stuff. We still have to factor that, and it's a cube root. We got cube roots on the front and on the back. Okay, here, can we pull out? I think you can just pull out the 2, right? I guess not. You must be able to pull out more. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're pulling out a 4 here. Now, the only thing that's different about this, 1 has a cube root. It's 1. So we are now ready to do our cubic stuff. You've seen a million of them, but so I'm leaving the GCF, but I'll work another one. 5p and 1q. I'm going to leave the 4 off till the end just so it doesn't get too confusing. Same as we started, same, opposite, always positive. Don't forget I pulled out a 4. On a test you'd miss a point. So, or 2. There we go. Okay, I don't know what we're pulling out of there. We've done a million of these. I'm going to let that one go. You can at least take it 2. I'm sure there's some big number. Okay, so there we go. So lots of versions of it. Now if you came across the problem, you would look for cube roots on the front and cube roots on the back. There's nothing else you can do other than memorize the AB thing and then use SOAP to help you figure out the signs. Now we are done learning the approaches. In the next video, what we're going to talk about is how do you tackle these when they're all mixed up together and you're unsure of what to do.